This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with the Donut Lord himself, Johnny Karlic.
That's Sergeant Sprinkles to you as I pull my own headphones off.
I am sorry, Mr. Sergeant Sprinkles, but we are here doing our review for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, or as Sophie has said in Twitch chat, the Sonic movie. It's all about that Sonic the Hedgehog. My name is Ricky Widmer. Across the table is Johnny Karlic, and we are here to review Sonic the Hedgehog. And this is a momentous day, Johnny, because not only are we reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog, but we are doing a live movie review. If you're on Twitch right now, if you're Soapy, if you're Sam, if you're Lone Wanderer, I don't even know if you're here anymore, but you said hey earlier, and I'm going to bring you up again. You could be watching us live here on Twitch. We are doing this after the Rick and Johnny podcasts, own separate podcasts that you're seeing on YouTube. Soapy even saying, all praise the Donut Lord, which is Johnny. And we are reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog. Johnny and I went and saw it. We're going to talk about the movie, give our review, give our out of 5 how many donuts we'll give it. Or should we do rings or donuts?
Well, donuts at this point. You already said donuts.
Like donut rings are the same thing.
We should have gotten a 12 case of donuts and eaten as many as we want to do the...
Oh my God, that would have been so good.
Eating the amount of donuts that we want to give the... that sounds extremely unhealthy.
No, you have to eat that many baker's dozens.
Oh, God. You try to kill us both?
So if you give it a 5 out of 5, you're eating 60 donuts.
Ricky wants to have the diabetes.
It's a baker's dozen is 13.
13, yeah, but still.
So you're eating
either way,
64, right?
Either way,
no,
Ricky wants...
65 if you are giving it a 5
Can
out of 5.
Can you math? Aren't you the
no,
math?
No, I can't
Aren't
math.
you a math major?
Me math no good. Me stop math.
Don't you have a degree in math?
No, I don't. It's a degree in music. I went halfway through the endorsement and then stopped.
Oh, okay, that's why.
I took a couple calculus classes.
Well, you're still farther than I am, and I could still do that math in my head.
I took a couple calculus classes, what was it? A infinite math, which was basically like theory stuff.
I hate that.
It was actually pretty fun. Mr. Wazwaz, if you're out there, great math professor.
Sorry,
in college.
No, I hate math. Sorry, I don't hate math. I hate calculus.
Doxing Professor Wazwaz that I had I graduated college in 2012, so I probably had him in 2011, which was like 9 years ago, but I'm still doxing him here on Twitch.
Anyways,
here on the podcast.
I hate calculus because I hate theoretical shit.
Dr. Army was my teacher.
I can't.
Old lady called Dr. Army.
Math and science, I hate it when it's theoretical. Give me the actual... freaking equation.
Ricky, no good math man. But welcome into our movie review. It's usually a shit show to start. The actual podcast was a shit show to start. But before we get into everything, make sure to support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/most valuable podcast. We got to thank our Twitch and our patrons again. It's Twitch thanks. Like, I got to change it. But thanking our patrons yet again for their support. If you would like to help us, go to patreon.com.
Thanks to our patrons, not thanks to Twitch.
But like in the scenes,
it doesn't hurt because we're doing it on.
No, I know that, but like Dave's like, shouldn't it say patron thanks, not Twitch thanks?
Whatever, it still says thanks.
I don't want to confuse you guys, but
I've been doing okay with it.
Thank you to everyone who supports us. Thank you. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch us on Twitch. We record our podcast at 10:30 Central Time in the morning. And thank you.
Looks like Ricky's playing Fortnite.
Hey, I am Burrito for the one cheer.
That's what that is?
It says cheer 1. So I
just see an upward arrow thingy.
Yeah, that's a cheer.
I didn't know that.
Because if you highlight over it, it says cheer 1.
Oh.
And Hey, I'm Burrito wants us to play Fortnite. Which maybe one day I'll play Fortnite.
Looks like Ricky's playing Fortnite.
So, quick thing into the movie review before we get into it.
Yeah.
Because Hey, I'm a Burrito cheered us and did that. I played Fortnite once, and I was the guy who hid. I'm the hider. I get my stuff, I hide, I kind of move, and I wait until there's like 5 people, and then I make my attack on it. Is Hey I'm a Burrito, is that Tim, or is that the Thanks Twitch stream? Oh, you're happy that Tim's on the graphic. You can put us back to us now.
Yeah, you sure?
I think for a long
once
time.
again, I think they'd rather see that than us.
Oh, and also thank you
An
to
anonymous
cheerer who also
Anon
cheered
one.
us. But
Thanks, guys.
thank you for that. And let's get into our movie review, Johnny. Like, they can only hear us intro this for so long. I'm going to change our movie review. Usually we stick in a do you want to do non-spoiler before the spoiler? Or do you just want to go,
I say we just go into spoiler, but I want to make sure everyone that's listening right now, we're about to go just straight into spoiler. So if you haven't seen it,
it's a spoiler
I would say
cast.
go mute us.
Yeah, it is a spoiler cast, everybody. So everything from here on out will be spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog. At the end, we'll give our score and our review. But Johnny, let's start. The first thing I want to start with our Sonic review is basically the big change that they had to do for the movie. And that is basically how Sonic not got his powers, but why he's here on Earth.
Yes.
Because at the very beginning, they show Sonic and he kind of does this thing where he's kind of like, hey, if you want to do this, go ahead and basically, let's go back and see where we're here. And we see Baby Sonic. He's in the Green Hill Zone, which is awesome. And
is that the Green Hill Zone? Oh, no,
it was.
It is? Okay.
Because that was the Green Hill Zone, and then it's Green Hills, Montana.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, does Montana count as the Green Hill Zone?
It was kind of a little trippy, is it
Yeah.
not? But
because I thought that was the Green Hill Zone, but I'm like,
he's raised by an owl called Longclaw.
Yeah.
Which I did a little bit more research, because when I saw that, I was like, is that from a Sonic game I didn't play? Is this character in a game that I don't know? And she's not. Longclaw is a character made just for this movie.
Gotcha.
So it's a new character. Looks like evildoers who you said look like a clan of Knuckleses.
Yes, they look like a clan of Knuckleses.
They come and try to take Sonic. She then says,
"Is it Knuckle Eye?
Knuckle Eye, maybe."
Does anyone know? Does anyone know the plural of Knuckles? If Knuckles is already plural, I'm confused now.
Basically, what happens is then they have the rings. The rings in this are kind of teleporters.
Yeah.
So all Sonic has to do is think about where he wants to go, toss it, and it is basically a teleporter kind of magic. What is your thought about them not changing this, but them making this the Sonic that is presented here, because there has to be a reason that he's in the real world?
I actually liked it. I like because there's not really a way to do it coming from the video games. They don't have, from what I know, you played a lot more than I did.
The original Sonic, there's no explanation to who he is, what he is. It's just, you're a blue hedgehog. Boom, here's your level.
So it's not a bad way.
Eggman bad. You beat up Eggman.
Yeah,
Eggman
it's not
bad.
a bad way to get into it. Like, hey, they made up their own kind of origin, how he got here. The ring, using the rings as the teleportation way to get around. I like that. I think it's a good.
I enjoy that they actually have a purpose.
Yeah, and then not just to collect them. They're not just Mario's coins.
Yes, like they actually have a purpose. They're used in the movie. And the thing,
which would be a great way to say, hey, that's why you want to collect them.
Well, and the thing that I liked about it is it's kind of a little reference to the game, where it's like, if Sonic gets knocked down and gets like in this case drops the bag, the rings spill everywhere. Yeah, kind of like in the game, if you get hit, bling, 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 the rings
you
are
hear all the
around
coins,
you.
like you hear the rings fly around,
and you have to pick them back up. The thing they also have a Sonic characteristic that's not in any other Sonic but this one, is they made this Sonic feel more lonely.
Yes.
But I feel like, yet again, and I'm reading these articles last night after we got home from the movie, because I'm like, now that I've seen it and I have my own thought, I want to see what other people think so that I can kind of piece things together. And there were some people that didn't like it. I actually enjoyed it because if you're thinking about the Sonic that we set up, basically as a baby, he got thrown into our world and he can't tell anyone about himself. Like how we see he's basically like he tells Marston's character, Tom, where he's like, no, I pictured us all as a family. The only thing is I just wasn't invited.
We were all friends. I just wasn't invited. No one knew I was there.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're watching a movie on the couch and he's sitting there outside the window watching the movie with them. Not watching them watch the movie. He's actually watching the movie. With them. And it's just like, that's what made, and I'm going to snap to the ending really quick. That's what made the ending so heartfelt. Where like when they go, oh, it's time to go back to your cave. And he's like, well, okay. And he goes to walk out the door.
Where are you
going?
They're
like, no, where are you going? And they made the attic into
his cave.
Which was awesome.
Pretty heartfelt, yeah.
It was amazing.
How excited he was, too.
But yeah, like
And a race car bed.
Yeah, a race car. That was the part I just kept giggling. But the thing I love most about this movie, maybe it's because I'm more of a Sonic fan than you are.
You are. I didn't have a lot of
I have more of a connection to Sonic. And the reason why I have this connection is it's kind of like Batman, where Batman, I grew up on Batman. I watched Batman. Like, after school, Batman the Animated Series was on. That's what I'd fucking watch. I just fell in love with them. When it came to consoles, yes, we had a Nintendo that was in the living room, but we also had a Sega, and I fucking loved the Sega. Like, that thing was my jam. Aladdin, Lion King, Sonic, playing Power Rangers on that thing. Like, that was the first system that I fell in love with. And that was like in the heat of, although I was like, 5 or 6 at the time, that was like the first ever console war. That was the whole like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And it was the whole bit war, like the 8-bit versus Sega's 16-bit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a little bit of it. Me being a young kid, like those graphics just felt better to me. That 16-bit felt like more futuristic than the 8-bit Nintendo.
You can get away with Mario being 8-bit.
Yeah, you can, but like...
Could you get away with Sonic being 8-bit?
No,
not really.
And that's the thing where it's like, I felt like the games on Sega drew me in more. And that's why I love Sonic, 'cause I would play all the Sonic games. Then Dreamcast came out, and I had a Dreamcast. How I got a Dreamcast was I got my tonsils out, and I think it was... Shit, what year did the Dreamcast come out? That wasn't that wasn't 97. That was like 2000. Was it 2000? No, it was 1999. September of 1999. So, like, either end of 99 or beginning of 2000, I got my tonsils out. And my aunt, for getting my tonsils out, bought me a Dreamcast. Because, that's how my aunt was. For those of you who don't know my aunt, I am the son that she never had. She had 2 daughters. I was basically the closest of that generation that was close to her as a boy. And I was the son that she never had. So she spoiled me more than she spoiled her own kids, which I felt bad about. But, I would do the same thing if I had, like, 2 sons and then my sister had a daughter. I'd feel like that's the daughter I never had. But point is, Dreamcast, I fell in love with Sonic Adventures, and then my Sonic love was just completely built off of that. My original point, though, is that I was like a giddy school kid through this entire movie. I don't know if you looked over at me during the movie, but there were times I was clapping like this.
Yeah, I saw a few of those.
There was the time that I went, like, the part that I went the most ballistic for, besides the
Chili
end,
dogs.
which we'll get there, when it wasn't even like he loves chili dogs. It was just I hate to say, I think it's a chili dog, and I was like, yeah, like, that is what I wanted. Give me a chili dog reference. Like, I was happy with these references. I was happy with the kind of homages to the original Sonic to what I had played as a kid to what I have watched as a kid. So for me, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed myself. Plus, can we talk about Jim Carrey?
Fantastic.
Give me your thoughts on Jim Carrey, because I know you along with me,
you and I both said
nobody
this.
That could have played
no
this
one
role.
could have played this role better than Jim Carrey. In my opinion, I believe in your opinion, he has a certain demeanor about him. It just pulls it from every other character he's played. It's always I don't want to say it's always the same, but it's like the same energy.
It's just him. It's his.
It's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, but in this role, but it's like the same.
You can see a little bit of the Mask, a little bit of the Grinch, a little bit of like all these other
of Ace Ventura.
Yes.
But here's the thing: it's not like, oh, this is the Grinch. This is just, it's not like it's the same exact thing. It's just the same energy. Jim Carrey's being Jim Carrey, but hey, you gotta be this role. Fantastic, and like I saw so much of what I can see the Eggman being in this Jim Carrey
And we
role.
saw it at the end.
Oh, for sure. When
he
finally
gets sent to. So what I found out was the Mushroom World.
Yeah.
Is Sonic's home planet.
Is it?
So that's what it turned into, I guess, over the years. That's what one of the reviewers I watched said.
I don't believe
but
that.
the thing that's cool about it, and this, so there's a lot of people that are like, are they setting up for a sequel with the 2 post-credit scenes that they have? Sam, I totally agree. Pulled off Robotnik perfecto. I think he's talking about
Jim Carrey, or
I don't know if he's talking about the Jim Carrey or if he's talking about, because he mentioned the cartoon series.
Yeah,
and the cartoon
that's
series.
what I remember. The cartoon series.
The cartoon
Robotnik.
series I'm thinking of is where the theme song was Sonic, dun 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 dun, Sonic, ba da ba ba da da.
I don't remember.
Sonic.
I think there was one where it just kind of
Was it?
I don't remember.
Let's see.
Off 100%. I have to watch it again
because that's what we do. I believe they're on Hulu.
Probably.
I believe they are.
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Sonic.
You're the one that said you were going to watch it.
I was, but then I got home and I'm like, I'm fucking tired. Yeah, the Sonic 1993 was Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes. Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Only 2 seasons. I don't think that's the one I'm talking about, though.
Probably not. I remember that one. I think probably.
Yes, that's the one you're talking about. The one I think I'm talking about is Sonic. Was it called Sonic Adventures, or was that the video game? Sonic Adventure was the video game. Fuck. Now I'm gonna look it up on my Hulu in a second. But with Jim Carrey, let's get to his post-credit scene because he played it. Like, before that, I'm getting too off track.
Too far ahead.
The best Jim Carrey scene from this entire film was when he was in his evil lab, and he's like doing the ski slope thing.
Yeah.
And then he does the thing where the
T-Rex.
and then he like bends his head down, and the T-Rex bites it, and it's like he lost his head, and I'm like, that's just Jim Carrey being fucking Jim Carrey, man. That is just perfect Jim Carrey.
Or how he treats his assistant every time.
Stone.
Yeah.
Do some
Agent Stone.
reconnaissance at the end. But the thing I do want to ask you about him at the end.
Reconnaissance!
Because the thing I did not realize is I didn't realize him getting fatter. I
saw it a little bit
head.
on the belly.
Yeah, I focused more on the head and the mustache, and I was happy with that. But the thing I want to ask you is, if you were Paramount, would you be doing a Sonic 2? What happened is,
Yeah.
for Sam, I have it set up for right now that if you post a link in there, because we were getting a lot of links of like bots basically being like, hey, get more followers with this. So for the time being, I had to turn on link control.
Yeah.
So if you're sharing a link, go ahead and shoot me it on Discord. And I'll make sure Johnny and I can bring it up. I'm sorry about that. I didn't warn you. So what happens is we now have Nightbot that kind of helps us monitor things.
Yeah. Because,
so I
you
apologize that we have links not available right now. I got to find the exact link and just put that as the blockable thing. But with Robotnik, what I wanted to ask you is, if you're Paramount, are you doing a sequel?
Hell yeah.
Or because a lot of people I've seen are like, well, if they want to do a sequel, I'm like, yeah, but didn't they set it up for a sequel?
Kind of did.
Like, I didn't think this was something where it was like, well, if we want a sequel, it's there.
No, I think they started setting up for sequel because the first one was. So I'll describe the first one. You describe the second one. I'm gonna go with. So we see Robotnik out stuck on the mushroom planet at the end there. Shaved his head off so he can be. You can see that part of Robotnik. Then he kind of pan out just a little bit. Full on Robotnik mustache.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about how he's like, hey, stuck on a planet, unknown planet, or stuck on an alien planet with little resources. And he said a lesser man would die here. I should be home by Christmas. Holds up the Sonic hair that he still has. And then a little bit of craziness of Agent Stone do rock reconnaissance where he just throws a stone with a kind of a person's face. Then the sort of evil laugh and starts trudging through, and you can see a little bit if you pay attention.
The bulge
Got the little bit of bulgy belly going. Starting.
Here's the thing that I saw mentioned in another review that I was like, holy shit, that would be awesome. What if the story for Sonic 2 is Sonic's homeworld or a part of the homeworld?
Yeah.
And Robotnik doesn't come back to Earth. He's there, and instead what he does is what he does in the video games, where he enslaves the creatures of that Earth.
It could
because remember how at the end of all different levels, you'd have to bop the button, and then boom, the little critters would come out. Sort of, yeah. Where it was like a little metal container. Boom, yeah. It poofs open, and then the little like critters come out of it.
Yeah, I sort of remember it.
Like
I said, I didn't get to play as much as you
did.
They
could do that.
Never had a Sega.
And then when Tails comes in, Tails is coming to find Sonic because, oh my God, Sonic, you need to come back and save our world.
Because let's put it this way. We also don't know the difference of time dilation between their world and our world.
Yeah, good point. Like, for example, in The Magicians, which is a great TV show, you guys should watch it, there's a mythical place called Fillory. And how they explain it when they get to Fillory is, I think, like a week in Fillory is like a year in our time.
Oh, shit.
So it could be like that, where like a week in Sonic's world is a year on our world. Or it's just...
vice versa.
Vice versa, where a week here is a year there.
Yeah, because it could... I mean, if Robotnik has enough time to enslave everyone, blah, 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 that takes time.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it's like, only kind of been a week here.
Good point. But when they showed Tails, I was ecstatic.
Oh, you were?
Like, it... And the best thing about it is I looked it up. Her name is Colleen O'Shaughnessy. Because when I heard the voice, I was like... Wow, that sounds exactly like Tails. Like, that sounds like what I expect Tails to sound like.
And why would that be?
Because she's played Tails in the video game since 2014.
Exactly.
So it's Tails. Like, they got Tails to be Tails, which shocks me a little bit. Because if, you know how movie studios are, let's get a big name actress or a big name actor to be this character. Like, the Sonic voice is not Sonic, it's Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
Maybe this is them saying, hey, for this one alone, it's a small part. I don't want to pay some big name to do it.
To do one line.
But in a sequel, would you keep her as the voice?
Yeah, you got... I can only imagine that, like, the amount of feedback of, oh my God, you got Tails' actual voice. It sounds exactly like Tails.
Plus, I'm thinking they'd save a little bit more money.
Oh, for sure. They're not for paying someone who does video game voice acting instead of like a big name actor or actress.
Sam said she also voiced Wasp.
Oh, really?
On Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I didn't know that.
Adventures.
Should have paid attention to that.
I saw on her thing she had a lot of voices. She was also in Danny Phantom from our childhood.
As?
Just a voice.
Oh, okay.
She's also done voices for like SpongeBob, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A lot of those voice actors and actresses will do a lot of different voices.
She's been working since like the 90s. Why was I going to look it up on my phone?
I don't know.
I was like, I'll look it up on my phone. And then I'm like, no, why would I have to? Colleen O'Shaughnessy, IMDb. Let's see here. So she's most notably, if I can get those words out of my mouth, she played Sonic Boom she was in Sonic Boom as Tails. Wasp in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. She was Jazz, or Jasmine in Danny Phantom.
Okay.
So she has been her first gig. We're going to play this IMDb name. Ooh. You should be able to get this TV series. Her first gig was in the year 1990 on a show that we watched the reruns on Nick at Night. And Will Smith was in this TV show. It was a TV show from our childhood where
Fresh
Will
Prince
Smith.
of Bel-Air?
She was in one episode. She was Helen in the episode Deck the Halls. She was also in a prominent anime from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one named
Sailor Moon?
Sailor Moon. She was, I'm going to say this wrong. It's basically spelled Thetis. Thetis? She was Thetis in Sailor Moon, the TV series. She was also in Digimon. She was Sora.
Oh, really?
In Digimon. She was Monkey Mom in Jackie Chan Adventures. All things that I have watched.
Yeah.
I just did not realize she was in it. Let's see. One more thing. Did we notice her from one more thing? Ooh, the Spider-Man video game, the Tobey Maguire one. She was the woman on the rooftop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the Proud Family. She was Ginger S. Kelly.
You'll be playing Woman on Rooftop.
That is your gig for this. But yeah, I actually love this movie. This was a great movie. Marston was great as Tom. One of the low-key, I'm going to say dark horses for Show Stealer was Tom's girlfriend's sister. Just but how much of a bitch she was.
I hated her.
Yeah, but she
so
played
much.
the part
exactly.
so well.
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
That brings up a point that I forgot.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little tiny thing that I liked about this film that Sonic didn't like. Sonic's shoes were not his shoes from the beginning.
Yes.
Because I noticed at the beginning, I was like, his shoes look kind of beat up. They don't look like his red shoes. And at first I'm like, oh, like, why? And then right away it hit me. I'm like, oh, he's going to get them at some point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, because in the games, later on games, like Sonic Adventure, it would be where you would level up your gear, like these kind of different shoes, this kind of armband that you need to get. And it almost reminded me of that. Like, you don't have everything that you need to win right now, but don't worry, you will get there. And when the girl ran off, I was like, oh, this is it. This is where he's getting his shoes. He's going to get his shoes from her. And he did. Red tennis shoes, the white band over it.
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal. Absolutely just loved it.
I noticed what she was grabbing as soon as she ran off.
Me too. But I was just excited. And you made a comment to me, like, she's going to grab the shoes. And in my head, I was like, yeah, dipshit, I know. I'm just excited about it. Because I made an audible gasp. An audible, like, noise of how happy I was.
How it came out was you were confused.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to contain my emotions.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like...
you know when a kid has so much joy, they kind of like their brain overloads?
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Well, that's what I would say. That's why I actually stated to you, she's going to get the shoes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, he doesn't get what the fuck's going on right now.
My dopamine levels were just through the fucking roof. To where I was like, oh my God, how do I contain this much emotion? I really enjoyed it. The only thing, little bitty thing, that I did not like about it, or the little hiccup I had, was, I'm assuming this was because of the re-edit of the character, but remember the scene where the rockets get shot at him and the bullets and they all freeze? And he's basically sitting there and he just like taps and doesn't say anything. They took out a line there. from the trailer. He cracks a joke in the trailer at that part that they took out in the movie. And it just, for me, that one little second was like, okay, that was a little bit of a hiccup there. Like, it felt like to me, they were like, well, maybe we don't do this because of the redesign, we do something else. I felt like with that little pause of him just tapping his foot and then tapping his hand, like that silence, I was like, something was supposed to be there. There was something that was supposed to be in that moment. Yet again, very small, doesn't ruin the movie. Just, I noticed a little hiccup in the movie. But like we said, when you're redesigning an entire character, that's going to take some work over the entire movie. And maybe some things like that happen. Is there anything you think we didn't talk about the movie that we need to?
No, I mean, I like all the little hints to the video games and the cartoons, like the chili dogs, or how he beats Robotnik with the bouncing and
I didn't bring that up, but I'm glad you did. That's the thing you got excited for.
I did.
When he was in the machine and the windshield came back, and you were like, oh my God, it looks like him in the flying thing.
Oh, well, because I got excited when he
goes to power it up.
I'm like, it's the floating chair thingy.
Yeah. Oh, it looked amazing. But let's do you want to do Show Stealer, or we usually do Show Stealer first,
I believe so. We do Show Stealer first.
So with this one, I'm going to have you go first because I'm still debating if I want to agree with you or give someone else the love.
Well, I'm giving it to Jim Carrey as Eggman / Dr. Robotnik, which he called him that too.
What?
He called him Eggman at one point.
He did mention that.
He called him Eggman.
Did he say Eggman, or did he refer to him as an egg?
Well, he called him Eggman.
Said Eggman, and I remember getting
because of his because of his robots.
That's
right.
He
called them Eggman.
The egg robots.
Yeah,
your egg-shaped robots, the Eggman. Which I was like, holy shit! I didn't fucking realize that the robots.
No, I want
look like
Robotnik
Eggman.
Back for the sequels. I'm not really caring about Tom or his girlfriend. But...
Oh, I will get into that in a second.
Yeah,
a quick second. I'm gonna give it to Ben Schwartz. Sonic. I thought about double Jim Carrey, but we still have to do. We didn't do it for 2019. Maybe we do it for 2020.
One of these days we'll get around to it.
Actually, you know what we'll do for next week? End of the show. Very simple. You and I will decide out of the movies we saw in 2019 who gets our Show Stealer of the Year.
Okay.
For 2019. The only criteria is they have had to be a show stealer in a movie.
Oh, for sure.
That's it. Like, if you're not a show stealer, you don't get Show Stealer of the Year. Obviously. I'm going to give it to Ben Schwartz. Just pass the love around. Sonic was awesome in this one.
True.
I didn't feel like... It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, man, I can really tell that you're not the voice of Sonic. Like, I didn't have that thought at all.
No, I played off Sonic very well.
Review-wise, I'll go first for this one. I'm giving it a 4. I originally, when we saw it, was like, ooh, it could be a 5 out of 5.
You were with
I tempered down.
The nostalgia hype?
I was in the nostalgia hype. I was like, it was a really good movie, wasn't a perfect movie. It's not. And most of the reviews I'm seeing are 3.5s. So I'm like, I justified it a little bit. I'm like, it's not a perfect movie, but you know what? My Sonic love, I'm going to be higher than all the other reviewers. I'm going to go 4 instead of that 3.5. So I'm going 4 out of 5.
I'm going to agree with you on that 4 out of 5 because, I did not have the same Sonic background as you do, but I do.
It's such a fun movie.
I do enjoy Sonic. I did play the video games when I could. I watched the cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I also, as you saw, got giddy at a few parts of like, oh my God, it's this. Or it's this. And like... So, I mean, just those alone, and just, it was a good, fun ride the whole time.
So, here's what I think moving forward. I can already plan 4 movies for this. Well, 5 movies. You can have 5 movies for this. Yes, I want the human characters to come back. My movie 2 is Sonic vs. the Eggman, where basically Tails needs his help. Eggman is enslaving everyone. You can find a way to have the human characters help Sonic. Maybe the human characters come to Sonic World. And it's like that. Number 3, who's he got to fight after you introduce Tails? Who do you got to introduce? the little red man. You got to introduce Knuckles.
Ugandan Knuckles?
You do not know the way.
Sonic, you do not know the way.
Basically, number 3 is you have Knuckles versus Sonic.
Come with me, my brother.
Then number 4, you have Shadow get introduced.
Ooh.
You can have Shadow. At that point, you can have the love interest of Amy get introduced.
Truth.
And also, I forget her name, the little white, she was like a little, like, not a bat, but she had those bat wings. She was a white character.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name
Big
either.
Cat. You can have Shadow then for 4. And then 5, Robot Sonic. Because don't forget Robot Sonic, too. There's so much potential for this if they want to do sequels that I'm excited for it. But that's what I would do. Obviously, let us know if you're on YouTube and stuff. Let us know what you guys would think down below in the comment section of this review. What were your thoughts on the movie? What did you think of our review of it? Obviously, before we end, Johnny, let's thank our patrons one more time. Patreon.com/MostValuablePodcast. If you want to help support this whole shindig and help us make sure we can keep doing the things we would love to do, would love to make this the day job, so that Johnny does not have to get called to plow snow, which would be amazing. But how you support us, patreon.com/MostValuablePodcast. Thank you to the supporters that we already have. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to go over twitch.tv/MostValuablePodcast. Thank you to Sam. Thank you to Soapy. Thank you to Lone Wanderer. Thank you to Ham a Burrito for the 2 cheers. He actually cheered again. I didn't read the second one. Did he say anything with the second one? Yes. I even pointed that out to you. Where Ham a Burrito said he liked where
He flossed.
Sonic did the floss. And I was like, oh, from Fortnite, he's doing the floss.
Mm-hmm.
Which Orange Julius is my favorite, but that's besides the point. Thank you for you guys for watching on Twitch. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube, listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.